mid-February 2017, and I want to give a little bit of a rundown of the challenges I've had with this bike that I bought used. It's a 2011 KTM XCF, which I bought to replace a 2010 CR144, a Husky that I had as my spare bike that my father was riding, and purely, he's just getting back into the game. He's not a spring chicken, he's 70, so figured we might want to find something that's a little bit more user-friendly. So I sold it and saw this. Well, I thought of the platform that would be best, and I figured this would be the perfect platform. Why? Because it's a 4-stroke. It's got a Recluse. And it's got wood suspension. Well, I'll tell you about where I had to go with that. It's got an 18-inch rear wheel, and it has electric start, which should work when you do that. But that's all I hear. So anyways, we'll get to that. Okay, so we talked about it. Let's talk about the challenges. Maybe someone out there has had the same challenges and they know the quick fix remedy. I've YouTubed religiously, played around with it, tinkered, and I can't figure it out because I have limitations with regards to diagnostic equipment and, to be honest, just that electrical know-how. And this is a fuel-injected bike. So where my knowledge comes from, that does not transfer to this. So here we go. Bought it mid-season last year. God, I say it's probably got less than, like 10 hours on it, easily. So pretty minimal, and it's been ridden pretty easy. Things that I've had to do. So when I first bought it, I took it out for a shakedown ride, and first 5 minutes, it was a blast. It was fun. And blah, it died. So end result, new fuel pump. It was completely filthy. Replaced it with a newer fuel pump from Woody's. Thank you, Woody. I believe it still has great pressure. We're going to test that very shortly. Not in this clip because I can't, but the shop that I'm bringing to will, because it's going to be a big ask of mine. All the filters were just gunked up. The injectors were gunked up. The gas was crap, so that was my mistake. It sat too long, and the previous guy didn't maintain it, or I don't know what. All you can do is just go with what you dealt with. So, new pump, new filters, injector refreshed. And that was it. So it seemed to run after that. Never did start really well with the push of a button, but it would kick over pretty easy. And that was, in the summer. Nice heat, ridden lightly, like I said. And then into the winter, close to the fall, took it out, Ganaraska, and I don't know if I grenaded it or it always did have anyways, the rear end was a pogo stick. And by the end of that ride, there was oil puking all out of the fork. So long story short, I brought that into Joe Skid, and he quoted me a price to, I thought it would be something as simple as a flush and fill, new seals, maybe a small adjustment. It was more than that. He showed me all the parts, and it was pretty much shrapnel. So there's $800, but pretty awesome. After that, took it for a ride in Limerick Forest and really had a good time with it until I pulled my hamstring, which sucked for a little bit. So what did I do? Then put some grip studs on it. So pretty much every one except every alternating one doesn't have a grip stud. And I got ice screws there. So it got me out a couple times. First time, slushy snow, not too fun. Second time, with work and family, it was tough to get out. I got out, and it was a blast. But a bitch to start. And it just took a lot to get it going. So I don't know. I threw a new plug in it. Thought that would do it. Didn't make a difference. Plug was pretty rich, pretty dark. So it's running rich for sure. There's no doubt about that. So what happens? Yeah. So I bring it in, thinking it's probably just valve clearances because I had an older bike. Maybe it's just a little loose, little tight, whatever. Bring it into two-wheel in Brockville, And Al says, you know what, I think we're going down the wrong path. Let's go with top end rebuild after a leak down test. After he pulled the cylinder, we confirmed that there was no scoring, so it was the right way to go, but it hasn't resolved it. Took it out after that, and it was a blast to ride, fun, really happy with it. Next day, tried to start it, nothing. Couldn't kickstart it, couldn't do anything. And then randomly it would kick over. I don't get it. It was weird. So now it's on a tender. I have a tender on it because the battery actually died with me trying to both kick it. My calf is killing me as well as using the button. So it's going back in. It's going back in. What I'm going to ask for. Fuel pump. It's got to get tested. I need to make sure that it's pushing what it needs to. The injectors. That's got to also be looked at. Make sure. I put on a new ambient or a new air temperature sensor thinking that was the issue. Needs to get plugged in. Like the TPS needs to be looked at. I don't know. It's beyond my scope, but so yeah, it's a little frustrating. Because when this thing is running, it's a blast to ride. So I'm just going to get this fixed up now. And I'm not going to touch it, man. I'm just going to clean it up. And as long as I can hit this and it kicks over and starts for my father, have at it. Because this one never fails me. I say that. And now what have I done over the winter? Really, I haven't done anything. It's got, what do we got? We got 55 hours on it. Suspension was done. So Joe's done some work on the suspension front and rear. A little bit more, a little extra. Yeah, I guess he fixed the front. There's from factory, there's something that he tweaked, but obviously won't share his trade secret. Don't blame him. He's a good guy. He's an interesting guy. And the rear, he's said I've noticed a difference in some high-speed compression. Put on some Warp 9 pegs, which is nice. Lubed up this, all the stuff you're supposed to do over the winter. So that's where we're at. So this thing, hopefully I can post in a couple weeks that everything is hunky-dory. So you can see it's got my father's initials on that one. It's got me on that one so that we can have some fun riding. But I don't know. Maybe it's taking it personally on me. I don't know. I thought I've been I thought I've been throwing good vibes at it. But obviously that's not enough. So it's got new suspension. $800 there. It was grenaded. Top end 15. Fuel system work. That was about $700 at the end of the day when that was all done. So a bit of money's been put into this thing. Oh yeah, linkage was done too because that was shot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this is actually bent a little bit. Once this was re-straightened at the subframe, we noticed that this is a little bit out of alignment, but I don't want to put any more money into this thing at all. So yeah, my skid plate is missing from the shop. They left it there. And I also noticed just a small thing, which the boys looked like they had a little bit of a difficulty getting out the drain bolt, which is odd because I torque everything to friggin' spec. But it looks like they've stripped that. So that's getting changed too. So, fuel injection. I don't know. It's kind of like cars in this day and age. I want fewer and fewer electronics. I just want to cruise around in a 1976 Toyota FJ with zero electronics to go wrong. This one, it's a honey. So anyways, this is my therapy session. I'm hoping that I can post a positive update because I'm really getting fed up with that. So to be continued.